everyone, today I am going to discuss a couple of topics: pointer to structure, self-referential structure, pointer to pointer, double pointer, that is. I will talk about void pointer, null pointer, size of pointer, and at the end of this lecture I will discuss about the advantage and disadvantage of pointer, which is very important topic. In the previous lecture, I discussed about the pointer to array, pointer to function, and how to pass a pointer as an argument to a function. So that topic was I have covered in my previous lecture. So in this lecture mainly we concentrate on pointer to structure and self-referential structure and pointer to pointer. That is very important topic, right? So let's start with the first one. So what is pointer to structure? We already know about the structure. So let me write a simple structure so that you can get the clear idea about what does mean pointer to structure. So if I, for example, if I take a simple structure by using struct is a keyword, then for example the name of the structure is ABC. Okay, I am taking two structure element, int x and int, for example, y. This is my structure, and just make it simple. And for example the name of the variable is xyz. Okay, so this is structure variable, and you can do it in your main function also. You can write the structure variable, and here if I declare struct abc, so you know that it's a user defined data type. So user defined data type is always two word. So struct abc is a structured data type. And if I write star ptr, so star ptr, you already know that it's a pointer. And if I assign the address of xyz, so it means that pointer ptr is a pointer of what kind of pointer it is. This is my data type, so structure pointer, and this is assigned to this address of structure variable xyz. So that is the declaration of pointer to structure, right? So pointer, I am talking about pointer to structure, right? So that is pointer to structure declaration. Next, self-referential structure. So next topic is self-referential structure. And this topic is very important because most of the time in complex data structure like stack, queue, linked list, tree graph, we will see that most of the time we are going to use the self-referential structure. When you talk read about the data structure, we'll see that this kind of structure is used. Now self-referential structure are those structure, you already know this is structure, so are those structure that have one or more pointer which point to the same type of structure as their member. So let me write a simple example so that you can get the clear idea and it is clear to you. So let me write, for example, struct. Okay, so if I write note, so this is my structure name. Within, for example, I have a two member. One of the member is for data 1, integer data 1, for example, and another member is, for example, let me write another data type, so char, for example, data 2. So these are two member, and let me write another member which is a pointer. So you already know how to declare a pointer. Okay, so let me write struct note. So this is the structure type, data type. Then if I write star link, So link is a structure type pointer, right? And this pointer is pointing to this structure. Okay, so it's called self-referential structure. So that means in self-referential structure are those structure that have one or more pointer. So here I have used a pointer, one or more pointer pointing to the same type of structure. So here I am just pointing the same type of structure as their member. Then it is called self-referential structure. Or in the other word, structure pointing to the same type of structure are called self-referential in nature. So that is the definition of self-referential structure. We will use in several places. Let's move on to the next topic. Pointer to pointer. This is very important topic, pointer to pointer, or sometimes it is called double pointer. So what is the definition of pointer to pointer? We know pointer to integer, pointer to character, pointer to float, pointer to double, any data. If you here we know pointer to array, pointer to function, and pointer to structure also. So why no, in my definition of pointer, I have just also mentioned that the data type may be a pointer also. So that means a pointer variable can hold the address of another pointer variable. In that sense, we can say that pointer to pointer. Okay, so let me write pointer to pointer, or sometimes we call double pointer. So when a pointer holds the address of another pointer, not ordinary type variable, another pointer, then such type of pointer is known as pointer to pointer or double pointer. So whenever a pointer pointing to or pointer holds the address of another pointer. Okay, so let me write a syntax. Let me write a simple example. For example, ptr is a one of the pointer, right? And ptr2, let's consider this one. We have a two pointer. One of the pointer is ptr1 and another pointer is ptr2. And we have a one variable, for example, number. I am just writing in short name of the variable. And for example, the value of this variable is 120. Now what is the address? Let me write address of this variable is x800. And let address of this pointer p21, for example, 600. And for example, this in 300. Okay. So ptr is a pointer which pointing to an integer num. If I define, so what is the value of ptr2? So ptr2 will be 800. That means ptr2 is a pointer which pointing to an integer variable num. And suppose ptr1 is another pointer variable which pointing to this address or hold the address of ptr2. So let me write this one. So x600. So it means that ptr is a pointer which hold the address of another pointer, right? In this diagram, you can get the idea that ptr1 is a pointer which hold the address of another pointer. Then ptr1 is called double pointer or pointer to pointer. So how to write the syntax? So let me write a syntax. So first, what kind of variable it is? Integer. So let me write integer. Then I have to use the double asterisk or double asterisk symbol for this pointer ptr1. Okay. So ptr1 is pointing to a pointer which is pointing to an integer. It means that pointer to a pointer, pointer to a pointer which is pointing to an integer, because the data type is int, which is pointing to an integer. Okay, so that's all about pointer to pointer. Let's talk about void pointer. What does mean the void pointer? So most of the time we have also used in our earlier lecture that we have used dynamic memory allocation, where you use malloc, calloc, realloc. Okay, and the return type of this pointer is void pointer. We know that we had to typecast. So here, what does mean the void pointer actually? We know that whenever we a pointer to void means a generic pointer, right? A generic pointer that can point to any data type, because when we declare a integer pointer means a pointer variable which is pointing to an integer variable, or a pointer variable which is going to hold the address of integer variable, or a character pointer means a pointer variable who is going to take the address of character variable. But sometimes it may be happen that we need a generic pointer, so that pointer is not pointing to specific data type, so we call this type of pointer is called void pointer. So we can assign the address of any data type to the void pointer, and the void pointer can be assigned to any type of the pointer without performing any explicit typecasting. So what is the syntax of this void pointer? So first we have to write void. So return type is void. Void is a validated data type. So that's why I have to then start, then pointer name. Pointer name. So that is the syntax. We just simply write void, then start, then pointer name. So that is the syntax. So let me write a simple example. Let's take it. Simple example. Suppose I want to write a void star ptr. So here ptr is a void pointer. Okay. So that means it's a generic pointer, and it can assign the address of any data type, not a specific data type, integer, character, float, double, array. We cannot say that. We just say it's a generic data type, and it can assign address of any data type to the void pointer. And even a void pointer can be assigned to any type of pointer without explicit typecasting is required. Okay, so that's about the void pointer, and it is very important question in your exam also. What is void pointer? So you can answer from this discussion. And next is, what is the size of pointer? We know that we have declared so many pointers. So size of pointer. So it means that whenever we declare a pointer, we know that whenever we declare an integer variable, so it will take 4 byte in our system if it is 64 bit, and if it is 32 bit operating system, so it will take 2 byte. We already know that. So it is machine dependent how much byte it will allocate it. Memory will be allocated. But the size of pointer, according to C perception, the representation of pointer of a void is same as the pointer to character type. Okay, so size of void pointer, but in C is same as the size of pointer of character type, right? So please remember this, or you can make a note. The size of void pointer is size of pointer of character type, and even any size of pointer, in case of 32-bit machine, it is 4 byte. So that means if I declare any pointer, it regardless the type of the pointer, whether it is integer, or it is character, or it is float, or double, whatever the type of this pointer. So because pointer hold the address of another variable, so it takes address. Okay, and address is always positive. So positive. So it will take 4 byte for 32-bit machine. For 32-bit machine, and it will take 8 byte for 64-bit machine. So any kind of pointer, so according to the system, it will depend how much byte it will be allocated for this pointer variable. Next is null pointer. Next topic is null pointer. So we know that when a pointer is pointing to an integer, then it is called pointer to integer, right? When a pointer pointing to character, we call pointer to character. Even you know the pointer to array, pointer to structure, pointer to function, any type. But what does mean the null pointer actually? What happens, sometimes it is very necessary that you use the void pointer. So when a pointer is doesn't point to a particular variable, then it is called pointing and does not point to anyone, so then it is called void pointer. So how to write the void pointer? Just simply assign, for example, int star p equal to null. So here p is a void pointer, integer type void pointer, and which assigned to null. So it means p is a null pointer because the value is assigned to this pointer is null. So what is the use of null pointer? Most of the time to initialize a pointer variable when pointer variable is not assigned any valid memory address. So null pointer means the pointer is not pointing to any any valid memory address. Or sometimes to check for null pointer before accessing the pointer variable. By doing so, we are performing error handling in pointer, because you know that if I want to dereference a pointer variable only if it is not null. If it is null, then we can dereference it. So that is one of the important use of null pointer. And sometimes to pass a null pointer to a function argument when we don't want to pass any valid memory address, then we use the null pointer. So different way we can use the null pointer in our C programming language, but you have to remember what does mean the null pointer actually. So null pointer means is pointing to a null value, okay? So does not point to a assign a valid memory address, then it is called null pointer, and use the null null as a keyword. So use it. And the last important topic is in this lecture advantage and disadvantage of disadvantage of pointer. Okay. Or we can say, what is the use of pointer? So first, we have covered so many topics, 15 to 16 topics I have already covered in this chapter. In the previous lecture, we also covered so many important topics. In this lecture, I have also covered so many topics. So you will get the idea why you use the pointer. The first is pointer provide direct access to memory. This is a very, very important concept. Why we go to use the pointer? Because we can access the directly to memory. And pointer provide a way to return more than one value to a function. See, we already know that function return only one value at a time. But if I use the pointer, you can go through the tutorials to get the idea. If you use a pointer, you will return more than one value or to a function. So return type of the function value may be more than one. And if you have a depth knowledge of pointer, you can reduce the storage space and complexity of the program. So this is one of the advantage, or we can say benefit of this pointer using. And pointer can be used to pass the information back and forth between the calling function and call function, because I have already explained with an example passing pointer as a function argument. I have explained swapping example, swapping a two integer variable, interchange the value of two variable. So pointer is frequently used in this type of and pointer help us to build. This is a very important benefit of pointer, because pointer is help us to build the complex data structure. Like I told you, I mentioned you several times in every lecture that it is used linked list, stack, queue, tree, graph, any kind of data structure is pointer frequently used. Even we see that when we talk about the dynamic memory allocation, most of the time we are using to allocate the memory, we use the pointer frequently. So pointer allow to resize the dynamically allocate memory block. So reallocating we also use the pointer. So these are the important benefit of pointer, but it has some drawback also, because uninitialized pointer might cause segmentation fault. So if you don't initialize any pointer, so most of the time you will get a segmentation fault. So if a pointer update with the increment, we have already talked about the increment and decrement operator or arithmetic operator associated with the pointer, that if you increment and decrement operator, if you don't use properly, because it's pointing to an pointer is a variable which pointing to an address or hold the address of another variable. So if you use the increment and decrement operator incorrectly, so it might lead to memory corruption most of the time. So basically the pointer bugs are difficult to debug. If you don't use the pointer properly and accurately, correctly, if you don't use, so you might get some memory corruption, memory leak, segmentation fault, that kind of error may be arise. So that is the disadvantage of pointer, and it is a programmer responsibility to use the pointer effectively and correctly. Okay, so whenever you are going to use the pointer, please take care of the special attention, how to use the pointer, how to initialize a pointer, how to declare a pointer, and how to access all those variable by using pointer. Otherwise will lead to a segmentation fault, memory corruption, everything. And pointer is very easy if you understand all the concept, and if you don't understand, then it will be very complicated to you. So please go through the every lecture I have discussed, and in this lecture I have discussed what is the disadvantage and advantage of pointer. I have discussed pointer to structure, cell reference cell structure. I have discussed pointer to pointer, that is very important topic. I have discussed null pointer, void pointer, size of void pointer, size of any other pointer I have just discussed. And next lecture I will discuss about recursion, which is very important topic. You already know recursion. I will refresh this knowledge concept once again, so you get the clear idea how to use the recursion properly. So I will explain factorial of a number by using recursion. I will explain the GCD function by using recursion, and recursion different type. What is the definition of recursion? What are the different type of recursion? What is the advantage of recursion compared to function? I will discuss in my next lecture. Thank you.